Macmillan Audio presents Armistice by Lara Elena Donnelly. Read for you by Mary Robinette Kowal. Part 1. Chapter 1. Cordelia sat through the customs inspection nailed inside a crate, breathing into her bunched-up shirt to muffle the sound. She couldn't understand the words. Blood pounded in her ears, and besides, they weren't speaking Gedon. It went on for hours, felt like, and then there was a long stretch of silence, broken by bangs and curses and the groan and scrape of metal against metal, unloading the real cargo. By the time Eusippa took a pry bar to Cordelia's hidey hole, she'd soaked through her clothes, fear-sweating.
"Stinks like a sauna in here."
Eusippa tossed the length of metal to the floor of the newly empty hold. The clang echoed.
"Come on out. Sun's down and there's some women that won't go away. I think they're yours."
"You sure they ain't hounds? Foxes?"
"Then neither of them a beast of any description. If I'd have guessed to venture, I'd say they're the other end of your line. But I'm not in the business of guessing things I'm not supposed to know. Helps me to speak honest with the harbor master about my cargo."
Cordelia stood and twisted her spine until it popped.
"Yeah, what were you, working out a marriage contract with your customs folk?"
"You haven't whined a teaspoon since we took you on board. Don't start now."
Eusippa opened up the hatch on an evening sky, purple turning black, burnished by city glow. It had been hot inside the hold, sure, but it kept right on being hot on deck. A breath-warm wind off the ocean swept over her skin, leaving behind a salty film. Factory reek mixed with harbor dross, all of it cooking into a putrid stew. Eusippa took a deep breath through her prominent nose.
Bearer. Almost as good as Dossier in the summer. And here it lasts all year round."
"Where are these women?"
Cordelia peered cautiously over the side, down at the dock, but didn't see anyone. At this late hour, most everybody seemed to have gone home.
"Down the street," said
Eusippa.
"I told them I'd bring what they were looking for. Made it sound very mysterious. I just needed them out of my underclothes long enough to unload. And the harbor master was starting to look leery."
"You're a treasure,"
said Cordelia.
"Maybe I can pawn myself. You paid me spit on tin for this and told me it was silver."
But she smiled when she said it and led Cordelia down the gangway. Smoke from half a dozen hookahs hung in veils from the low ceiling of the coffee house. There were other folk around, sucking on the ends of hoses, but the low light made it tough to pick out details. Cordelia was grateful for that. It meant nobody would get a close look at her. Not that she was so recognizable anymore. She'd hacked away most of her scarlet hair early in the game, leaving a tumble of curls longer on the top, styled in a ragged high and tight. Easy to cover with a cap. Colored red with whatever she could get a hold of, sometimes just watery paint. It gave her scrappers a little bit of hope, a little bit of the home they remembered. Since she'd blown up the bee, sometimes it felt like her 6-inch square of bright red curls was all that remained of old Amberlough. In 3 years, the spies had managed most of what they set out to do, and Cordelia, lagging behind a little bit, had gone from opportunistic arsonist to organizer. Joachim, Zelda's man, had been hers for a while, and he brought along some useful friends. In turn, they brought some of their people. Word spread in whispers, mostly through theater folk and black market scullers with greasy palms. It was Opal, who used to work as gaffer for the Diadem, who said,
"Let's call ourselves the Catwalk. We get things done unseen, and then light it all up when we please."
It was her idea to hit the trains, too. All the
Sample complete. Ready to continue?